Hello, hello. This is Adrian Igo, Capricorntigress of Astrology A Look Inside, coming to you with my reading for Sagittarius for the month of November 2018. And I actually put this off. I don't know what's been going on with me, but I did Gemini last night and I was so drained. It was the only reading I did, even though I'm late for doing readings for November. I was totally drained. And I think it was because, my husband has Gemini rising and he recently left me. Like we broke up and we're married. So imagine. But as I was doing the Gemini reading last night, I thought, oh, Sag is on the other side of this. So I want to do your reading next, Sag. And I think it's because as I look at this chart, the funny thing is for Sages, there's not as much emphasis. Let me get some tea here. I'm going to have to spill some tea, I guess. So for Sages, there's not as much emphasis in the seventh house of partnerships as it was for Gemini. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is going to be a month for Sages, or you're going to be feeling yourself. This is all about you this month. You're just going to be growing and just taking chances, and your physical self, your persona, everything about you is just ready to bloom. I mean, you've had Jupiter in Scorpio in your 12th house. It's been preparing you all year for this, and soon in this month of November, Jupiter is coming home to Sagittarius. You guys are the lucky guys. This is your time, like your time. And the sun, of course, in Sag, it's all about you. It's about you. Oh my gosh, feeling your independence. If any of you Sages were the partners of, a Gemini or Gemini rising, and they recently left you, or you had a breakup, or you're thinking it might break up, or whatever, child, put yourself first. It is time for you to think about you now. It's time to rejuvenate and regenerate and feel strong again. It's your time. And I think I have mentioned this once before. By the way, that's what happened. Like my throat, it's been so dry. Like getting the words out this month is so hard. And I just ask that you bear with me as I deal with that. But yeah, just so dry. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, all that emphasis in your first house. So let me go through, and I'll just discuss a little bit about what's really going on here. When the month starts out, Venus is in Libra, which is good because it's trine Sag, and it's retrograded back into Libra. And so the month starts out, it's kind of smooth, it smooths over any problems that might have happened in the area of love. It's not as bad as it could be or might have been. So, but the thing is, this retrograde into Venus is Venus retrograding into Libra. It's going to bounce back. It's going to go direct, and it will be going direct in Scorpio. It's going into Scorpio, and then it's going direct into, so just prepare for that, because that goes back into your solar 12th house, and there might just be some real insecurities and things about love, especially if you've had the issue that, like with a partner or anything like that. And so there might be some deep things. There might have been hidden things that had to do with love anyway, which, with this retrograde that started back in October, something was probably exposed. And so now it came out, and now it's going to go back in through that Scorpio, that hidden house. So, whatever is still buried there, it's going to bring light to everything. It's clearing away all of it. It's all going to clear away with Venus. And it's in your 12th house, through, I think, most of November. after it goes direct on the 16th, I believe, in Scorpio. So also Mercury is in your first house too. So not only is the sun going to be there, um, Mercury's going to be there. So you're going to be thinking about yourself, and you're going to be thinking about what you can do to improve yourself. You might be working on your health a lot this month because the sun is also there, and eventually Jupiter is going to be there. So, I'm just hoping that you don't overdo it, because you're going to feel like you're like invincible, because you're going to have a lot of extra strength and vitality maybe this month that you might not have had last month. So it'll feel a lot better. Things are starting to improve for you for sure. And the other thing that I'm noticing, there's still that emphasis with the second house with Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn in the second house. That's the weirdest thing to have both Pluto and Saturn in any one spot. I'm finding that it's becoming an issue. For me anyway. Now, luckily, Saturn's in one house and Pluto's in another already, but it's all affecting my first house. In your case, it's affecting your second house of research, your possessions, what you own, like your money and your home and your car and your clothing and your food, and the things that give you comfort and security, and the things that make you feel just feel like you're safe. Things that give you that feeling of safety. And right now with Saturn in Capricorn in the second house, you might not feel as safe or as secure or as comfortable as you were, because Saturn's there and it's kind of restricting that. So just be cautious of that. It would be a good time to probably invest your money or put your money away in banking or savings or something like that, just to maybe make sure you're covered with your money. But the crazy thing about it is Pluto is also there. So I don't know if you've experienced this or anything like this, but what Pluto tends to do is tear everything down to its bare nubby, like to the point of death. And then it'll bring it back up and make it greater and better than it was before. So you might have experienced some issues where your money hasn't been right. And especially with Saturn coming into the second house like this. And just know that if there's been some issues with your money, it may be a situation where Pluto is building up the money and it's going to build up again, like the phoenix rising from the ashes situation. So just be aware of that. Mars is going to be in your solar fourth house pretty much for most of the month with Neptune. And so there might be some confusion and things when it comes to your home life, your family. Just be aware of any kind of arguments or disagreements or anything at home or with your family, because that could be a problem. And, you'll regret it after if you do that. Uranus is trekking backwards from your sixth house into your fifth house, which means, your love life could be getting kind of weird, back to that weird love life again, right? So I don't know how that's really affected most of you guys. Just know that there is a possibility for some strange occurrences to happen in your love life, or maybe with your children, or maybe taking chances, or, anything like that. Just be careful about gambling. It's weird because I say be careful about gambling, but then with Uranus there, I'm thinking if you gamble or take a chance, the unexpected could happen. So, okay, gamble. Gamble. Okay, and finally, the North Node is going to be going from Leo into Cancer, and it's going to be in your solar eighth house. And that's good, because it's going to have your mind's going to be thinking about things, deeper things, like your partner's resources, maybe, or paperwork, or taxes, or insurances, or whatever. Things like that will start to be, that should be the area that you concentrate on. It could also just mean that you're coming into a period where you'll have more sex, which is a good thing as well. So anyway, this has been my reading. I'm in a strange mood, guys. Just bear with me. Oh, this has been my reading for you, Sagittarius. Now, what I'm going to do now, because this is just my intuitive reading and what I think about the chart when I look at it. But I want to go through the aspects, and I'm going to go through them quick. And I'm going to start from where we are because I'm so late. We're already on the 4th of November, so we've missed Jupiter and Chiron. Let's start with the 6th. On the 6th of November, the Sun in Scorpio is going to be trine Neptune in Pisces. And that Sun in Scorpio is, that's your 12th house. So that 12th house is still highlighted until the Sun moves into Sag. And Neptune is down in your 4th house again. So when I'm thinking 12th house, 4th house, there could be some, like I say, there could possibly be some arguments because I know Mars is going to be in that 4th house too. Just be cautious about that. You could just be having some great ideas and things while you're at home. And because it's a creative aspect. So you might feel a sense of creativity from it because the 12th house, you can be very creative in the 12th house dreams. And you might have very prophetic dreams on that day. So yeah, be aware of that. Write everything down. Something good might come out of it. On the 6th as well, Uranus retrograde is actually going to go back into Aries. So it's actually leaving the sign of Taurus now and going into Aries, which falls into that 5th house again. We're back into the 5th house. So you're going to have a little bit of emphasis on your solar 5th house. Okay, that I had talked about that 5th house earlier with that. But what's going to happen is things will regress backwards. It might even mean an old lover could come back because, it's a retrograde. Just know if your lover comes back or you try to make up with them, this retrograde is going to go direct one day. And when it does, your relationship will have to move forward or it will once again end. It's very important to know that because I'm positive that old lover might show back up. On November 7th, there is a new moon in Scorpio. And this indicates a new start for just about everyone. But in your case, it's a new moon in your solar 12th house. And I think it's just a time for you to really get in touch with your deep emotions and really get in touch with your inner self. Because the 12th house really rules your inner self, your subconscious motivations, and all those things that we do in secret, like dreaming and planning and getting things in order, the stuff that no one else sees, but we see. Well, now the new moon's going to be there. So if you start new projects, even if it's something that you're just like writing down and you're planning for the future, it can lead to something really good because it's a great time to do that. On the 8th of November, Jupiter is going to enter Sag. Finally, I talked about this earlier. So it happens on the 8th, you guys. Okay. Jupiter, your planet, your ruling planet, is going to be in its home sign of Sag. This is a major thing for like all of us, the astrology world right now, because it is a very lucky time. Optimism is going to be high. You're going to start feeling good about things again, and you're going to hopefully start feeling good about yourself, and hopefully you'll have more smiles on your face and get back to dancing and moving and working out or whatever you've done, because most Sagittarius love to do those things, so it's a time to get back to you, Saggy. It's all about you. And that's why I really wanted to do your reading, because no matter what's going on with your partner, it doesn't matter because it's your time. You're the one who's got to grow. And it's all about you improving yourself and improving your life. And I really believe this is the time you can do it. And just remember, Jupiter doesn't go into Sagittarius except every 12 years. So this is major. You haven't had luck this good for 12 years. So just keep that in mind. No matter what's going on now, it's all going to get progressively better and better and better and better. And by the end of the year, you probably will not even remember the tears that you left behind, because it's all going to be happy and it's all up from here. Okay. So on the 9th of November, Venus is trine Mars. And this is another very positive aspect because it brings relationship harmony and inner balance. And that Venus is in Scorpio because, it's retrograde in Scorpio. But the thing is, the Mars is in Pisces. So it really is a very watery, very emotional, very nurturing, caring type of aspect. So you'll probably feel compassion when you talk to those that you love and care about. On the 15th of November, Mars is going to enter Pisces. And so that's going to be I would just realize, since that was that was probably still in air, Aquarius. That means that Venus was probably still at the last degrees of Libra, but it still applies. It still applies what I was saying, because it would have been right on the cusp. The next day, almost, it goes into Pisces. So I would say, in that case, it might be a little bit more airy because that's more air signs. But even so, it's still a very compassionate place for it to be. And you might be able to talk out, because then you're looking more at like communications with your friends, and maybe even maintaining a friendship, or the ability to communicate with an ex or with a loved one. So that's just a slight different feel on it when I realized it was like in those last degrees of Aquarius and Libra, instead of the early degrees of Scorpio and Pisces. It makes a little bit of a difference. Now, on the 16th, Mercury retrogrades in Sag. Sorry, Saggies. Mercury, I don't know how that's going to affect you. Depends on how you guys react to Mercury retrogrades. Since Mercury is a planet that naturally squares Sag, and it's in your first house, just be aware of saying the wrong things. Don't get, because Saggies love to talk and be right and talk about their philosophical beliefs and stuff. And I'm so worried that when it goes retrograde, if you guys are not aware of what's going on, you could get into some type of philosophical debate, start talking, and get into some kind of trouble with some kind of speech, because Mercury rules speech, and Sages are always, they've got a cause, because you guys believe in things so strongly. So I just want you to be really cautious on the 16th, okay? If someone tries to bait you into an argument or something like that, don't do it. You know what I mean? So just be careful that day. On the 16th as well, Venus does go direct. So, finally. Okay, so Venus is going direct now in Scorpio. So love improves. Love's going to get better for a lot of people. But Venus is going into your 12th house. So it's more going to be more about like self-love. Loving yourself, taking care of yourself, and just enjoying your own company, throughout the month. I am pretty sure that once Venus once it gets into Scorpio again anyway, you've probably been feeling that way ever since it got back into Scorpio. Because, in your 12th house, it just makes it easier to want to be in your own company. You know what I mean? It should be pleasant music playing, and maybe even, family around. That should be good. You should have a good experience with that. On the 19th, Mars is square Jupiter, and that Jupiter is in the 12th. No, it's in your first now, and Mars is in Pisces. So that's going to be Sag squaring Pisces. First house, fourth house emphasis. So, yeah. Well, yeah. This day they're like, this is a day that people get overconfident and they overestimate things. And since it's your first house, just know that don't try to do too much, for yourself. Just be careful too. Like that would be your home life. Just be aware of that, not to get into arguments or anything like that at home with family members or anything like that. You try to overdo things and maybe hurt yourself at home or something like that. So be careful. That's the 19th. Now on the 20th, Chiron is trying, or the sun is trying Chiron, and this is a good time to heal. So if you hurt yourself yesterday, let's hope you didn't hurt yourself. But yeah, the sun trying Chiron is a good time to heal. And so, let's hope you really did not hurt yourself yesterday or the day before, the 19th. But if you have any insecurities that plague you, like about yourself and your actual person, because the sun is in your first house. And if you've had issues that have bothered you about your physical self and your body, hopefully they're going to start improving. You're going to start feeling better about yourself. I can see Sagittarius starting to feel better about themselves all month long. Little by little by little, as the month goes on, you start feeling like you're in your zone and your power. And it's starting like by the 20th. On the 22nd, see, sun enters Sagittarius on the 22nd, and big things are popping. I've been saying it all month. But you could be like, thinking big, spending big, doing big things. You're not as scared anymore. You're starting to feel in your own now. You're like, okay, I got this. I got this. Well, here's the thing, though. Don't get too overconfident too fast, because that same day, there's going to be a full moon in Gemini. And, that is your solar 7th. And like I said, in the beginning of this, I did a reading for gems, and I discussed this day, and I'm going to discuss it with you as well. So the full moon is going to be over in Gemini in your 7th house, and your sun is in your 1st house. It could be your partner tries to get a hold of you, ring, 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 starts getting into it, try to get you into an argument, wants to discuss everything. Don't let him bait you that day, girl, boy, child, run. Okay. That is not the day to fight, to argue, to try to work out, to even communicate with that Gemini. He's upset about something. The moon is full. And Geminis don't even know how to process emotion. So imagine, what is he doing with all that emotion? He don't know what to do with that. He's going to come pour it on you. And you don't need that. You got too much happiness and joy going on. So avoid it. If it calls, you see his name, go hit the button, let the voicemail hit that. Hit him the next day or the next. Not this day. Okay? Okay. That's the 22nd. Okay? All right, now. Don't say I didn't warn you, because, Sagittarius love to get into those debates. And Jem's going to be talking. Wow. And I don't even know if you can, win. I don't think anyone's going to be winning that day when it comes to talking. The sun is opposing the moon. It's just going to be insane. Now, on the 24th, Neptune is direct in Pisces. Oh, I've been so happy about this moment, because all the confusions and misunderstandings and things that have been going on for especially the last month or so, hopefully you'll be able to fix some of those misunderstandings, or just quelch them, just nip those suckers in the bud. And people should start acting like humans again, not like the vampires they've been acting like over the last few weeks. It's been really bad. So let's hope it gets better. Now, on the 25th of November, the sun is conjunct Jupiter, and that's your 1st house again. See, now this day, if you want to talk to boyfriend on the 25th or whatever, then yeah, because it's one of the luckiest days in all of 2018. Talk about luck. It's time to grow. It's time to expand. It's time to do good things. Really big things are popping this day, for real. And it's all in your 1st house. So you're the one who's lucky. You're the one the sun is shining on. You're the one who is queen or king for the day. So make it your lucky day and do all that you can with that day. On the 26th, Mercury is square Mars, and there is a possibility of miscommunications that day. That Mercury is in your 1st house. Lord, do not get into no big arguments that day. I would avoid, again, communicating with anyone or anything that would get you upset. If you can avoid doing any major conference calls or webinars or communications or proposals or anything where you got to get up and speak, or hold meetings or anything like that. I mean, wow, it's in your first house. I wouldn't do that if I were you, especially if it's business, because Mars is going to be in the fourth house, which is opposite of your 10th house. It's kind of like really not shining on your career that day. So on the 27th, the sun is conjunct Jupiter, and the sun is also conjunct Mercury. And this is all happening in your first house. And you are thinking big. I mean, your joy cannot be contained. Okay. You got sun there, and Mercury there, Jupiter there. This is your time. This is your time, Saggy. I hope you're going to do something beautiful with this month, because it comes around, like I said, every 12 years, you get to experience having your sun and your Mercury on Jupiter in your first house. It's a rare occurrence. And I hope you are doing the damn thing, okay? Just do the damn thing, because it's your month. Anything is possible. Whatever that dream is. I don't know what your dream is. I keep thinking someone's going to hit the lotto. Big things, man. Wow. Great big things. Just whatever that dream is, go get those scratchy tickets. Yeah, just do it. It's your time. Okay, now on the 30th, Venus is opposed Uranus. The month goes out so poorly. I'm so upset about it. So any progress you might have made in the area of love during the month, you could just forget that. But really, you got to be careful, because love's going to be crazy that day. If you can avoid the crazies, because it's going to be crazy, that's great. But do not get into some crazy, insane argument or debate. It is not a good idea. Uranus is in your 5th house, or solar 5th house. It's retrograding. Oh, no. Venus is in your 12th house. Oh, self-undoing. Oh, just stay away from love. Do not talk to him or her. Do not text him or her. Don't go, oh, baby, I miss you. I love you. No. Don't do any of that. Okay? Okay. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow. Whatever that flow is. Go with the flow. And if you do that, you're going to make it through this day, and you're going to make it through this month unscathed. Well, this has been my reading for you, Saggies, for the month of November 2018. And this has been Capricorntigress, Adrian Igo, from Astrology, A Look Inside. Much love and much light to all of you, Saggies. Namaste.